After a little bit of magic before the break with Dynamo, let's bring ourselves back down to earth now and talk about the events that happened yesterday and, of course, what we can expect today. So, the ANC will hold a media briefing later today to formally announce the decisions taken by its NEC on President Jacob Zuma's future. The briefing follows the marathon meeting held by the party's National Executive Committee in Irene outside Pretoria last night. For more on this media briefing and the events that unfolded last night, let's speak to political editor Sophie Mokoena. Sophie, good morning to you. News is coming in, obviously, that the media briefing has been moved to 2 o'clock. It was 12 o'clock, now being moved to 2, another postponement.
Yes, indeed, the media briefing will only happen around 2 o'clock because the ANC is going to officially inform its structures on the decision. But secondly, you know very well that yesterday when Cyril Ramaphosa delivered the news to President Jacob Zuma, one thing he asked was that do the right thing or do what is right. What is right is official communication, and one expects that today he will formally receive a letter in terms of the decision taken by the ANC, the highest decision-making body, that is the NEC, early hours of this morning.
So, Sophie, when we look at the events that unfolded, I mean, you were following the story, and I'm not sure if were you in Irene last night?
Yes, I arrived at Irene around lunchtime yesterday, and we left at 4 a.m. today.
Yeah. Talk to us about the kind of things that were happening there, because, I mean, obviously we're hearing this morning that there were motorcades that were leaving and coming back. ANC President Cyril Ramaphosa, Ace Magashule going to President Jacob Zuma, then coming back, reporting back. So it seems that there was a lot of activity there last night or during the early hours of the morning. Yes,
from 9 o'clock, the top officials had their usual meeting and perhaps to look at what they will present to the NEC. And at 2 o'clock in the afternoon yesterday, the NEC meeting started, and that's where the issue was discussed. And towards 12 o'clock last night, we saw the cars of the President of the ANC, Cyril Ramaphosa, leaving the venue. Immediately thereafter, the convoy of the ANC Secretary General, Ace Magashule, followed. And they went straight to Mashabandlovu, the President's residence, not a presidential guest house. It is the President's residence. That is the official house of the President. They went there. We are told on arrival there were some standoffs, the security at the gate, security saying that they can't come in because it's too late. But finally, they did open the gates, and indeed, the ANC president and the Secretary General went in, and they verbally communicated the position. And apparently, President Jacob Zuma was not cooperating, and they went back. They held the meeting again with the NEC members for almost 3 hours. And only after 2 to 3 o'clock in the morning, we saw the cars leaving. And we then knew that the meeting has ended, and we got information then from our sources what transpired and the final decision. It is for that reason today we expect the ANC to elaborate further on this decision. But we have been told that the 12 o'clock media briefing will not happen. It will only happen at 2 o'clock because they want to follow proper procedures to inform the ANC structures, and also this technicality of ensuring that they do a formal communication to President Jacob Zuma. Because I think they thought President Jacob Zuma will behave like Mbeki, just agree and do the right thing and respect the party, but it was not to be. And it's not the first time. You'll recall in 2005, when he was recalled, before he was recalled, there was an NWC meeting where he agreed, NEC, and later he went out to blame the leadership. I think even this time, he's holding the leadership hostage.
All right, Sophie, we've got to leave it there. But thanks for filling us in on the events that happened last night. And of course, as you've heard, Sophie reporting, and we're telling you now, we've been saying 12 o'clock would be the press conference, but it's now been moved to 2 p.m. Let's take a break, sharp after this.